Welcome to another episode of the Achilles podcast. This episode is about the Fann Mountains. Not the F-U-N, fun, but F-A-N-N, the Fann Mountains. The Fann Mountains are part of the western Pamir-Alay mountain system in Tajikistan's Sughd province. And this is the second time when we do episode about Tajikistan. The first episode of the Achilles podcast was about Tajikistan. And if you are an outdoor and trekking lover, you will enjoy this episode. Our guest Eraj knows a lot about the Fann Mountains. Hi Eraj and welcome.
Hi Hassan, thank you very much.
Hussein is also here. Hi.
Oh,
Yeah, we both are here. All right. Eraj, could you please talk about yourself a little bit?
my name is Eraj, and I work in tourism sphere in Republic of Tajikistan. I work in the mountaineering tourism camp Artuch, which is located in the heart of Fann Mountains. So I work for tourism about 8 years. So here I am with you. I'm listening to you.
Oh, cool. So you said you work in Artuch camp. So could you please explain a little bit about the Artuch camp and also what can you do there? I mean, what foreigners can do there?
First of all, I want to explore for everyone who is gonna visit Tajikistan. How do we know Tajikistan is a mountainous country? So the 70% of the country is covered by the mountain peaks and the mountains. And our camp was built in 1970 from the Soviet Union time. So it was planned to be like an international mountaineering tourism center for everyone who want to come to explore Fann Mountains, who gonna come here for climbing, also for mountaineering, and also for ecotourism. So it was built just for these activities. So everyone for today who comes to our camp has very big opportunity to use our services. So for going hiking to the mountains, also mountaineering and also rock climbing. So there is lots of services in the camp. It is possible to use it, and also where the tourists can have very good rest in the rooms of the camp. And there is also availability of the good kitchen. They can taste Tajik cuisine, national dishes, and everything like this.
Oh, good. So if let's say a foreigner doesn't have enough equipment like a tent or maybe something else, you have all of that and so you can lend them.
Yes, of course. There is much more rental activities also. The tourists can rent some if they don't have tent, sleeping bags, maybe some tools for rock climbing they can rent in a warehouse of the camp. We also have services which the guides accompany tourists in the mountains. They know all the roads in the mountains very well, and also they can accompany tourists with them.
Yeah, so basically you have everything they need. They just need to be there in Artuch camp. You will take care of the rest of it.
Yes, sure. Yes, sure. It's right.
Yeah, sounds good. And how to get there? Yeah, how to get to Artuch camp?
So first of all, we need to know about every tourist must know about the place which he is going to travel. It's like what country is it, and what does he planning to visit. If there will be Artuch camp, so the first of all there will come a question about the transportation. So in Tajikistan, with the transportation, there is no any problems. There are lots of transports which can take the tourists to each part of the country, and also to Artuch camp. When the tourists want to come to the camp, and first of all, they can contact our camp by the email or by the WhatsApp. They can ask any question what that they interested,
Mm-hmm.
and also there is possibility to organize a transfer. The camp has own transportation like jeeps and the minivans, which can every time to come and visit tourists from the airport or from the any other borders in Tajikistan. so they can reach the camp by the transport of the camp. Otherwise, they can reach the camp by the shared taxis and by the local people who is going by the same way. So these are the possibilities how to get to the Artuch camp.
Mm. And how is it from Dushanbe or from Hujand? I mean, how long?
From Dushanbe, the capital of Tajikistan, there is 270 kilometers of road. So 250 kilometers of them is very good road with the asphalt. So it is very good, and there is no any problem. And less than 20 kilometers is the mountain road.
Yeah.
So it's also very interesting with the very beautiful nature views. But the road quality is seems not good at all, but
Hmm.
it's also okay just for traveling and for every tourist. It seems very interesting.
Mm. So it takes about 3 to 4 hours to get from Dushanbe.
Yeah, it took about 4 hours from Dushanbe to reach
Hmm.
the Camp Artush,
Yeah.
um, like this.
You said Artuch Camp, it's the heart of Fann Mountains. So how big is Fann Mountains? Where is the beginning and where is the end of the Fann Mountains?
There are lots of points in the Fan Mountains, which is every time it's gonna tell tourists that it's the area is very big. How big is it? So I will tell about the most sites and about the trekking support. So from the first of day, the tourists can start to travel in Fan Mountains about 12, 14 days. So it means
Mm.
the area of the Fan Mountains is not small. So it is big and it is interesting and it is fascinating. So all of this we call the Fan Mountains. So what about the area? It's about 650 square kilometer.
Mm.
650 square kilometers. There are more than 30 mountain lakes, and the dozen mountain peaks about 5,000 meters. And
Oh,
the highest point of the Fan Mountains is the Chimtarga Peak with a height of 5,489 meters.
wow.
And also I can tell about other peaks. There are more 8 peaks which are above the 5,000 meters. So there are Big Hansa, Botkhona, Mirali,
Hmm.
Energy, Chapdara, Zamok, Malay Hansa, and the Moscow Peak. They are all above the 5,000 meters. So whole the season they are covered by the glaciers, by the snow, so they have amazing nature.
Yeah, sounds interesting. And are there any local villages in the mountains? Can you see people there?
Yes, of course. As I told you before, the Tajikistan mostly is covered by the mountains. So also local people, it's
Hmm.
about 60, 70%. They are living inside the mountains, and there is a mountain village, and also the people who live in the village. So in the summertime, they are gonna feed their cows, their domestic animals. They took them to the mountains, and they will make up in the mountains a camps like a summer camp. So they are living there whole the season, about 2 and 3 months.
Yeah.
So they'll stay in the mountains, and when the tourists traveling along the Fan Mountains, they could see then the local people who is living inside the mountains near the lakes or in somewhere else. So they're very friendly, and the tourists can also come uh, to to join them, maybe to have some conversation with them.
Yeah.
The local people are very open and very kind, and they would love to see tourists.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. We went to Artuch Camp almost 2 weeks ago and we met some locals there. They were so kind. We had lunch with them and they
We
were,
tried yogurt.
yeah, we tried local yogurt. It was really nice.
Yeah, sure, sure.
So they don't speak English, right?
Most of them they don't speak English, but
Hmm.
there are some young men who is accompanying them. Maybe their son or their daughter. They can speak a little bit English, but mostly they can speak in Russian language also.
Hmm. What is the most surprising thing that foreigners see when they are hiking in Fan Mountains?
What is mostly incredible things that I think it would be the culture of the Tajik people, which is attracting thousands of tourists every year to come to visit Tajikistan, and uh, and also the kindness of people who is living in Tajikistan. As you
Hmm.
know, the logo of the tourism of Tajikistan is Tajikistan feel the friendship.
Yeah.
So that's why was choose just feel the friendship because Tajik people, we could say they are very friendly, the most friendly people in the world. Also, the national cuisine is one of the distinguishing features of Tajikistan, which attracts a largest number of people from the different parts. Because there is a plov here. If you know, the plov is a, we call it just a king of dish in Tajikistan.
Mm.
So what could be better?
Yeah.
Only more plov. Uh, you have not seen so many recipes for one dish anywhere else. It's about 400 more recipes to making plov. It's just one dish and
Hmm.
plus 400 recipes how to prepare it. In addition to plov, Tajikistan is famous for the meat porridges, which are abundant here. At the meat of ram, goat, horse, as well as vegetables, we get lots of fresh vegetables and fresh fruits. And everywhere in the markets, the tourists just the eyes can see the colorless fruits, vegetables, and many um tasty things in Tajikistan, which local peoples making by themselves. Also, the meat and vegetable kebabs are very popular in Tajikistan. In
Hmm.
every restaurant, maybe in every roadside small cafe, they could taste very delicious meat and vegetable kebabs.
Yeah.
And also, there are lots of spices and sauces in the best traditions of Tajik people.
You said plov. For some of our listeners who have never heard of it, could you please explain what is plov?
Plov is a dish uh, which is very famous in Central Asia, like in Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. Mostly the tourists can have a taste to plov. So in every region of Central Asia, the plov is, as I said, it has many receipts of preparing the plov. So it is just in the Tajikistan we could see more than 100, more than 200 receipts of preparation of the plov. So it is made by the local rice and
Hmm.
also carrot, onion, oil, and very good quality of fresh
Hmm.
sheep and or fresh sheep meat or fresh
Lamb.
beef.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Beef.
plov
Yeah.
could be made. So as much the sheep's meat is more fresher,
Uh
so the
huh.
plov will be more delicious
Oh.
because the oil of the plov sometimes we use just the beef of the sheep and the oil of the sheep
Oh.
meat. So it is prepared in Central Asia. So as I told, there are lots of recipes in Tajikistan, also in the northern Tajikistan, have separate plov taste, and in every region of Tajikistan there is a separate taste of the plov. So the tourist which is going to visit Tajikistan and Uzbekistan also, so they could have taste a plov in each place, in each separate place which they are going to visit. So it would have a separate taste.
Oh. Wow. Now I feel hungry. Okay, so let's get back to the mountains. Is there access to the internet in the mountains?
Unfortunately, in the mountains, there is no good mobile connection in some places. As I told, the mountains is very big. Maybe in some places, in a high points, the tourists can reach a signal of cell phone, which can send some SMS, some messages,
Mm-hmm.
or but there is no good internet connection for that region. uh, in the Fann Mountains, Artuch had organized and also had installed an opportunity for tourists to get reach their homes and to be in a contact with the people, with the friends. It was installed a free Wi-Fi service in the Camp Artuch, so every tourist who is gonna visit Fan Mountains and when they will stay in the Camp Artuch, they would have free Wi-Fi for using and for sending some messages to their homes. Many of mountains they have a radio communication station for the
Mm-hmm.
safety of tourists and useful connections. So in the Camp Artuch also available radio communication station. When the tourist comes, he can rent a radio communication station with him, and he can be in a contact, in a touch by the camp every time. In the mostly 70% of the mountains, he could be in a touch with the camp in case of injury, in case of some accident. They can reach the camp by the time.
That's good. And if some tourists have any altitude related illness such as headache, dizziness, or weakness, what do you do? Because the altitude is about more than 2,000 meters high, right? Above the sea level.
Especially Camp Artuch, the altitude has an altitude of 2,200 meters. For our work experience, what did I see is that mostly people having problem with some illness. It's just people elder after 70 years old, after
Mm.
60 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So because some people, when they are getting high to the mountains, they had some problems with the health, as you told. So some of them just having a headache, and also some people have a very high pressure.
Yeah.
For the people who has a blood pressure problem, they need to take care about themselves before the traveling to the mountains. Maybe they will need to take some medicine with them, which usually they are using them. So 70% of the people who is going to have a trek in the mountains, it's just about when they are reaching altitude about 4,000 meters or 3,500 meters above, it's getting some problem with the breathing, and also as we know, there is not too much oxygen. So some people who don't have a lot of activity in their lives, so they could have a little bit maybe headache, and also we call it mountain illness
Yeah.
in if you translate it. So they could have such problems, but I think it is not a very big problem. When they will take some medicine, it would be okay.
Good. If you want to travel on your own, is it safe? Are there any wild animals?
About the safety in Tajikistan, I could give some more information. Also in the mountains,
Mm-hmm.
the Tajikistan recognized as the safest place for traveling. Also, the capital Dushanbe recognized as the safest cities for night walking.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about the mountains? The mountains are also very safety. Many people got information that they're afraid of wild animals, and they're afraid maybe something else, or so I could say about the safeties in the mountains. the animals which is living in the mountain, they are as the same afraid of people who is
Hmm.
gonna go to the mountains.
That's wise.
So they are very far away. So in our working time, uh, also from the Soviet Union, if we look to the history back, there was no any accident. Also in Fann Mountains, uh, also in other places of Tajikistan, there was no any accident with the attack of wild animals.
Hmm.
There was no any attacks to the tourists or to the locals. It
Yeah.
is just need to be aware when in the springtime some some tourists traveling to the mountains very early in the spring. As we know, the wild animals they don't like too hot climate. So when the summer is coming up and the people, also local peoples, usually start to go up to the mountains and they will make their tents in the mountains. So the wild animals they will be as far away they can because they also don't want to see the people and they also don't want to have any problems with the people. It's the same like this. But when the weather is getting cold, so the wild animals they also feel very cold in the mountains. They will start to go down
Hmm.
as near to the people because they also need to feed themselves. So they are looking for some animals in the downside of the mountains. So in the winter time they are going down. So in the summertime, there is no any problem with the
Yeah.
wild animals, and it is very safe in the mountains.
Hmm. Yeah, that's good to know that. And since we are talking about the Fun Mountains, one thing that we should talk about, I think, Kulikalon. So tell us a little bit about Kulikalon Lake.
The Kulikalon Lake, it is seems as a big lake. It has it's at altitude about 2,800 meters.
Hmm.
So it is one of the very beautiful lakes of the Fan Mountains. The Kulikalon, it is one of the lakes in the mountains which has a fish and also some tourists who wants to get fishing activity or something to want to swim in the lakes. It is possible to do that in Kulikalon Lake. Also, Kulikalon is surrounded by the mountain peaks, which is very beautiful. And the peaks are Rudaki, Maria. They are all covered by the snow whole the season. So it's gonna be like a very beautiful backside wall to the lake of Kulikalon, and it is very beautiful. The Kulikalon has more five lakes around him, and when the tourists reach the Kulikalon, so
Hmm.
uh, he would see more five lakes and more five amazing nature beauty in the Kulikalon lakes because there are more lakes like Lake Bibi John
Hmm.
and Lake uh, we call it Hot Lake and we call it um,
Dushoha.
also Dushoha Lakes. Yes, also other name is Maria Eyes. Why we call the Dushoha sometimes Maria because
Mm.
it is two lakes which is located in the downside of the peaks. So they are very beautiful and they are two. And there was a time in the Soviet Union when the Soviet mountaineer Maria fell down from the peak, and so that's why sometimes we
Mm.
call the Tushoha Lakes Eyes of Maria. They are very beautiful.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
know that. What is the best time to visit Found Mountains?
The best time for visiting Fan Mountains is from the 1st of May until the 1st of October.
Hmm.
So the season is going to be very good, and especially uh, it is June and July. Why? Because less of raining,
Yeah.
so it could be more sunny days for traveling in the Fan Mountains. First of all, of course it's climate. When someone is going to the mountains, he need to know about the weather in the mountains at that time. So the most favorable weather for climbers, it would be sunny weather.
Yeah.
So they need to also search some local sites for weather forecasts
Hmm.
like this.
All right, Arach, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you have a busy schedule. We really appreciate it.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
Yeah, and how people can find you, find about you and more about Artuch?
So every time myself I'm being in a camp Artuch
Hmm.
usually. So we work. Our season starts from the 1st of May
Hmm.
until the 1st of October, and we got our own website when everyone can reach us by our website and by our numbers which is given in our website. We
Yeah.
are online and we are on social media also, Facebook, Instagram. They could find Artush Tajikistan. There
Hmm.
is more information about our camp, about
Yeah.
our roads, and about our jeep tours around Tajikistan. So about any type of traveling, they could find information on our social media and also on our websites.
Okay. Yeah. It is called artuch.com, right?
Yes, artush.tg.
Okay. Yeah, we'll add that in the description. All right, Arach, thank you so much. And until next time.
Thank you, both of you, Hassan and Hussein. I really appreciate your work and your podcasting. I wish you good luck for
Thank
for the
you.
future. And I know you are doing one of the best jobs in the world because any person who gonna travel around the world, he
Yeah.
would like to listen some podcast about the place of traveling. So it is very nice. So I wish you good luck and best wishes.
Wow.
Ah,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
you're welcome.